Grand Theft Auto 6, an extended look, premieres on Netflix Thursday, August 27th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So let me get this straight. You expect people to go ahead and purchase a Netflix subscription in order to be able to watch an advertisement for your upcoming video game? This is some next level gaming industry nonsense that we have right here as far as I'm concerned. But before we get really upset about it, it is important to mention that this particular extended look is also going to be launching on the official Rockstar Games YouTube channel and the GTA 6 website at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on August 27th. So what we actually have here is a 6-hour window of exclusivity on what is likely going to be the first gameplay reveal for Grand Theft Auto 6, and it is going to be exclusive to Netflix. Now, do notice that they only mentioned the Netflix announcement on the main post, and then they just mentioned the YouTube part of it a little bit lower in the reply section. And the reason why they do that is because they know that a lot of people are only going to watch the very first post, and they're basically going to subscribe to Netflix in order to watch this trailer. This is good business for Netflix, and it's also good business for Rockstar Games because most likely Netflix is paying them a premium, and they found another avenue to monetize GTA 6 because we all know they hadn't monetized the game enough. If you guys don't remember, we do have a video here in the channel where we talk about, the different stuff that each edition has, but just for those of you that are curious how this actually works, here's what the standard edition comes with for the pre-order bonuses and all that good stuff. Here's what the ultimate edition has. You actually have to scroll down quite a bit. A lot of these things impact gameplay, by the way. It's not just cosmetics or anything like that, exclusive missions, all of that good stuff. So basically Rockstar is like, our game is so big, we need to get all the monetization in it. It's like we just need everything. Now this game, despite all of the stuff that they're doing with the monetization and all of that, despite the fact that there's no actual physical edition of this game, there's just a code in a box, despite the fact that in Japan that code in a box expires after 170 days, which is insane. Despite all of these things, this game is actually selling like gangbusters. Absolute insanity, to the point where they've said in some news article that like these pre-order numbers are so absolutely crazy and overwhelming that we don't even know what's going to happen in terms of sales. They have no idea. But basically this game is going to be one of the most sold games of all times. It's going to break all the records, do all of those things. So then they did an interview with Strauss Zelnick, who is the CEO of Take-Two, which is the company above Rockstar, like their publisher or whatever. And he says that he expects the games industry to be in commercial streaming mode within 3 years. Now, for those of you that don't know what commercial streaming mode means, it means that he expects a majority of people to basically be playing video games in the cloud. Cloud gaming, yes. First, they took away physical, which is going to be happening mostly by the end of January 2028, because once PlayStation gets out of the race, Microsoft's like, well, they did it first, so we're going to get out of the race as well. Nintendo will probably do what Nintendo does. They have like their game key cards and all of this stuff. They still have some cartridges. They haven't said anything about this, but we all know that Microsoft is just like chomping at the bit to jump in and be like, yep, the hell with physical, no more discs, everything goes digital. So first they took away physical, no more discs, yada, yada, yada. Now they're like, actually digital is just not enough. Okay. Digital ownership, no, we don't want that. What they actually want is they want you on a subscription. They want you on a cloud gaming subscription. They don't want you to own hardware. They don't want anything. So here's the article from PC Gamer, and it says here, during Take-Two's latest earnings call, CEO Strauss Zelnick said the current computing hardware crisis, the one that's making it more economical to fly round trip from the UK to buy an MSRP GPU at NVIDIA's QuakeCon booth, than it is to buy one anywhere online, is, to quote the man directly, not a good thing. So this is the crisis that is being fueled by the AI bubble that we have right now. For those of you that are aware, I'm not sure, there's probably like 2 people that have been living under a rock or something like that. This would be the only way that you're not aware of what is happening. Basically, RAM sticks are worth more than blood, most likely. I don't know the actual numbers, but like in my case, I checked on a kit of RAM that I had purchased, which was like 100 something euros, and it is now 6x'd its value, so it's like 600 something, almost 700 euros for the exact same RAM kit that I bought like, I don't know, 2 years ago or something like that, which is absolutely insane. The fact that RAM has actually 6x'd itself. The fact that consoles like the PlayStation 5 that I have is worth more than the PlayStation than it was back when it originally launched. The fact that my computers are worth way more than they did when I bought them like 2 years ago. The concept that a computer is worth more now than when I bought it is something that I never thought I would experience in my lifetime, but that's just where we're at. So that's the AI bubble for you. But basically, the Strauss Zelnick is talking about how, like, oh, this is not a good thing, the hardware crisis. But while the skyrocketing of costs of consoles and components are threatening to price customers out of the pastime, Zelnick said Take-Two doesn't see increasing inaccessible gaming hardware as an insurmountable problem. Not only doesn't see it as an insurmountable problem, he likely sees it as an opportunity. In part, that's because Rockstar's parent company expects a lot more of us will be streaming games in the near future. Everybody in the comment section, let me know how excited you are to jump into cloud gaming. He goes ahead and he says, the advent of streaming, Zelnick said, is something that Take-Two believes is right around the corner in terms of having something that's low latency and really works well for consumers. Machines that weren't game machines before will become game machines. As a result, the company imagines its customer base will continue to grow as cloud gaming becomes standardized, regardless of what happens to the traditional gaming hardware market. That's if you believe in streaming, Zelnick said. And to be clear, we really do. And I'm happy to put a timeline on it. I think we'll be in commercial streaming mode within 3 years. Now, there's additional commentary in here. Like by Zelnick's estimate, broader adoption of cloud gaming could effectively increase Take-Two's potential user base tenfold. That wouldn't necessarily produce a tenfold increase in revenue, he said, as the company's most avid customers are those who already have traditional gaming hardware, but game streaming creates great opportunity for titles that are broadly desirable, even outside of core markets. So basically, he has nothing but to gain with this happening. So if cloud gaming goes mainstream, Strauss Zelnick is a happy man. So no wonder that he's like putting so much weight behind these statements and he's talking about them so openly as somebody that is currently handling a juggernaut of the gaming industry in the form of GTA 6. This is the type of game that can set a lot of standards for the future of gaming. One of those standards is already being set in the form of like no physical release, which is still to me absolutely insane that there's no physical release for this game. There's going to be a lot of people in the world that are likely going to be picking it up on Xbox, and this is solely because PlayStation Network doesn't actually operate on a lot of countries, and I believe that Xbox most likely supports more countries due to the fact that it's working with Microsoft. I could be wrong. I don't know if that is actually going to be the case or not. There's probably a lot of people that are picking up the game using accounts from countries that are like adjacent to the country where they actually live in, and then they use, the gift cards in order to purchase the games, which is just like such a cockamamie way of actually, handling your customer base. It's just like, yeah, we know you guys actually live in Portugal, but why don't you just buy, stuff from Spain? This is just an example, like, PSN is actually supported in Portugal. I'm just saying, like, two countries that are adjacent, and you're like, no, you need to actually buy gift cards from the country that's next to you rather than just, pay normally as you would for digital goods. No, that's not how this is going to work. But an interesting thing is Zelnick is out here going like balls deep into the cloud gaming. Let's see what happened to that project that launched a while back. You guys remember that project, Google Stadia? Oh, they're not with us anymore. It lasted 3 years. That lasted 3 years. That was not so good. That's oof. Yeah, but apparently 3 years from now, we're going to be completely ready. Here's the thing that a lot of people, I feel, don't understand. It's like, our infrastructure in the West is nowhere near close, not in 3 years, not in 10 years, hell, maybe not even in 20 years. we're going to be ready for cloud gaming because our infrastructure is constantly dropping. At least that is my experience. And not just in Portugal, in a lot of places. I'll go to places like, oh, the Wi-Fi here is ass because, internet is expensive in here or whatever reason it happens to be. In my household, I actually have pretty decent internet, but every now and then it just goes down. There's nothing you can do about it. It just goes down. Happens often when I'm trying to live stream. I have all kinds of issues, and people all over the world have issues with the internet because our infrastructure is ass. It's nowhere near Japan or the wider Asian market, depending on where you're at. I think that South Korea also has good internet. I could be wrong there, but I know that Japan has like excellent internet wherever you go. But we're not there yet, and I don't think we're anywhere close to being there yet. Now, there is another service that is seeing some success in the form of GeForce Now, but the reason why GeForce Now works is because it's a hybrid service. So you have your games, you have the option to play your games at your preferred device, and then you have the option to play it when you're away from home. And that's kind of like the advantage of something like a GeForce Now. It's not an exclusive thing where you're just exclusively playing in cloud gaming. See, I'm not necessarily against cloud gaming as an accessory to regular gaming. So for instance, I use stuff like the Steam, what is it, Steam Link? I use Steam Link. Like if I happen to, I need to be away from my home, my computer stays on, I pick up my phone, boom, have a controller, and I can actually use Steam Link. You can do that with your laptop, whatever you need. A hybrid system is actually something that has its advantages, but as an exclusive system to just do cloud gaming, I think that is absolutely insane. You're basically going to become the Netflix of gaming. You really don't own anything. It's going to be just like a bunch of licenses that they take away whenever they feel like it. You guys remember like PlayStation did where they just removed 550 movies and it's just like, oh, poof, those are gone, baby. Those are gone. Welcome to the future, ladies and gentlemen. How do you guys feel about all this? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong, stay safe. Peace out.